Hi everyone, welcome to the other side, and my name is Knight. Today I want to talk about Dr. Yunus a little bit. Um, a lot of the people they have mixed feelings about him becoming the caretaker government of Bangladesh. People have different kind of opinion. So let's dig into that a little bit. So one of the information that I saw where people have been talking about Dr. Yunus supports Israel, and he donated I think $100 million or something to Israel. So that information I think completely false because he does not seem like a person who's going to donate money to Israel. He won Nobel Prize for peace. So if you are a peace Nobel Prize owner, there is no reason you would amplify a war or support a state that is committing a genocide. That's what I believe. If somebody have different opinion about it, or if somebody thinks like no, that's not the case, then go ahead and ask him directly. Somebody can raise that question. Um, one of the journalists can raise that question if they have not already. But I absolutely don't think that somebody who won a Nobel Prize in peace, they will be supporting Israel. The second thing, I think I also heard that actually not recently. This is like been going around for a long time. People always say like, oh, um, he made money out of interest. He's a shootkor. Shootkor is like somebody who makes money with interest. Let's talk about that. So the business that he ran or maintained, this business supposed to give loans to the poor people, like the poorest people of Bangladesh, not even middle class or lower middle class, the poor people. Those poor people, they didn't have a way to loan money from anybody. It's not like you or me or chairman or some rich person on the in the village, they would go and give them loan. Even if they did, even if those poor people were able to manage some of the loans, those loans probably were also had some string attached. I don't know about all the stories. Like in my village, I knew that if you have a land, you can give that land to somebody to fertilize, grow crops, and everything. And they give you 50% of the crop because technically they don't have the land. They're using your land and they're doing the fertilization and growing the crops. And because it's your land, you get a percentage, they get a percentage. So still that's not a loan, right? So still that person have to go and buy all the things to grow the crops. um, a lot of the people who doesn't have money, it's very hard for them to at least get some cash in hand to start a small business or anything. And the small business could be like buying a rickshaw and become a rickshaw puller, or starting a small business like cutting trees, anything. It could be anything, even like starting a poultry. What Dr. Yunus did, he worked with this company where they were giving loans to these people who actually don't have any money at all, and they got benefit out of this loan a lot of people, they started making good money, they were able to pay off all their debt, and they were able to live a good healthy life, yes, there were people also, they lost everything because people who are uneducated, who doesn't know how to money manage or manage business, who just try to start something and you made a loss. That happens to a lot of us. You start a business and then you make a loss and you have to accept that loss. So there are people who did lose their money, and it happens to everybody. Like in USA, you get a loan, you buy a house with a mortgage, then you lose your job and you cannot afford the house anymore. You cannot repay the loan anymore. So what's going to happen? The mortgage company or bank going to come and they're going to take your house and you lose everything. So these are not like just because you took the loan, um like you made a bad decision, or the person who gave you the loan, now they're trying to enforce and make you suffer for the situation that happened to you. This is just rules and laws and contracts. Whenever you take a loan, whenever you make a contract with somebody that, okay, I'm going to borrow this much of money and I'm going to pay you monthly this much of money, within whatever happens, you have to repay that. Like, otherwise, there will be an action taken against you. So, people who got benefited, they had good life, and they were successful with their startup businesses, and they were able to maintain their family in a good way. And a lot of people, they, as I said, they lost money, and that's how a business structure works. Company do have shareholders, right? What do shareholder wants? They want to see profit. If they don't see a profit, they're not going to let somebody borrow the money. So if the company cannot bring any profit, why would you think all these shareholders who are sitting on the top seat of the company, why would you think they're going to like loan money to the poor people? They don't have to. They can give that money to somebody who have a job. So we have to think about from this perspective that whatever Dr. Yunus did, provide the poor people with a loan so that they can make a good living, it did work and it helped a lot of people. Now, the part that comes about Shutkor, well, our daily life, we do have like a interest everywhere. If we think about like that part, like, okay, a lot of people, they do fixed deposit in the bank, right? Why would you do it fixed deposit? Because you want the interest from the bank going to keep your money for 1 year or 2 year or certain time. You're not going to touch the money. Bank going to take that money and give it to as a loan to somebody else, and the bank going to take interest from that person. And also, because you didn't touch the money for a certain time, bank is going to give you a certain percentage of that interest. So technically, we are, or whoever does fixed deposit, they are also Shutkor, right? So you cannot just say, oh, this person is Shutkor, I'm not a Shutkor. So I just wanted to make a point that in our life, we are part of the interest. If you take a mortgage, if you buy a flat in Bangladesh, if you buy land, and if you don't have the cash, you borrow the money from the bank and you're paying interest, right? So you are also contributing to that interest. So that is also should. What else? If you buy a vehicle, if you have a credit card, and if you don't pay the credit card on time, you pay interest. So everything that we do, that the money is not on your hand and you're borrowing that money, or you're using the money when you don't have that cash flow, you are part of the interest. So it's not a bad thing. Well, in Islamic way, you can say no, it is a bad thing. In Islam, we are not supposed to use interest and blah 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 blah. How much of Islam we all of us follow every day? That's the question I want to raise. So there are 5 pillars of Islam, right? So it's uh praying, zakat, roja, hajj, and shahada. So these are the 5 pillars of Islam. Do we follow each of them in our daily life? If we don't, then we should not ever say that, oh, this person is a shutkar and we don't want this person. Even the people who pray every day, they do not follow all the 5 pillars of Islam. Let me explain in a way. Okay, we know Shahada. We do fast. Like Bengali people, they love to fast, and that is amazing. Like we are following one pillar of Islam. Namaz, we do pray all the time. The one that we actually have a problem with is Jakat. So we do go to Hajj. Like there's a lot of people in Bangladesh. They do go to Hajj all the time, multiple times actually. But when it comes to Jakat, people don't donate money. Um, Even if they donate money, they are going to donate a certain amount, not the amount it is like I mentioned or told in the Islamic way that this is the portion that you have to donate. If we are not donating all the time, every year, a certain percentage, let's say 5% of our income or our property of the whole year, we are not following the all pillars of Islam. So where interest come in that? Like interest is not even a pillar of Islam, right? If you think about it, interest is like far, far away. Like there are like different things that you should follow in Islam, different things you should not do in Islam, and interest is one of them that you should not do. But the top five pillar of Islam, if we don't follow one of them, and if we are following other four or other three, that doesn't make us a good Muslim. So when somebody says that, oh, Yunus is a shutkor, first question you should ask them that, do you follow all five pillar of Islam? If not, you should not tell somebody if that person should not be in charge because that person is a shutkor. That's how I feel it, because no, I don't follow every single pillar of Islam, and I have a different perspective the way I see Islam. I'll talk about it on another day, but I absolutely hate those people who does not follow every single pillar of Islam and they try to come and teach you what Islam means. That should not be the case. Only person should judge somebody is Allah, the Almighty. Allah should be the one who should be the judge of if somebody is a true Muslim or non-Muslim, and should they go to heaven, should they go to hell. We should not make any comment on those. We should live our life the way our book tells us, peacefully. You can go and do dawah, but what somebody did and what somebody is not doing, we should not point out. If we do point out, first thing we need to do is like we need to point ourselves that, are we doing all the things that Islam teaches us before we even make a statement like that? All right, that's how I feel about these two statement that usually people talk about Dr. Yunus. I think he's a good person. He seems very humble. We need somebody who's humble. We need somebody who wants to do for the good for the country, who has empathy. In my checklist, he meets all those criteria. So I wish him all the best. I hope he takes the country to the right path until the next government. And let me know what you guys think, if you agree with me or disagree with me, if you have heard something different that you think, oh, this rumor is about Dr. Nunes, that's why I don't think he should be in charge. I do like to hear your thoughts, and hopefully we all can agree that the ultimate goal is to better of our country. So let's just focus on that. Thank you and have a good one.